Hi, Aries. Welcome to your November 2021 General Tarot reading. It's Rena here. I'm still experimenting with a new setup, so we'll see if I can keep everything in frame. Still a little bit. I've got a clip-on mic, and so I'm really, trying to feel things out here. Oops. Okay. And I could even probably put them down here more. Maybe they'll be more visible. Okay, so let's see how this all shakes out. So, the heart of the matter is the Hierophant, and this is a card that is connected to Taurus as a sun sign. As I have said over and over again, I really believe it should be Sagittarius because of the things that it connects to. It connects to spiritual matters. That kind of looks like a stairway to heaven in this particular depiction. So anything spiritual and also higher education, which is another thing that Sagittarius is connected to, or the ninth house. But regardless, we're going to go with what many, if you want to call them experts in astrology, in the tarot, would say. And I did find one of these experts that actually linked it to Sag, so I felt like I wasn't going crazy after all. But in general, I see with the Hierophant that there can be this sense of convention as well. And maybe it's because if you think about organized religion and following the do's and don'ts, belief systems that maybe you were raised with, but you don't necessarily still resonate with, that can also create inner conflict. And if the Hierophant is also connected to like marriage. So if that has been something that you've been tossing around and trying to decide whether or not you want to actually do it, then here's your what do you call it? Your sign, so to speak. In the past position, we have the King of Swords, and this is a card that is sometimes showing that there is an important decision that has to be made. But the person, unlike the Queen of Swords, the decision has to be made with pure logic. And really, when you're dealing with any kind of religious or spiritual matters, it's not about the left brain. It's about intuition. It's not about linear thought. And so that would be kind of like approaching it from the wrong point of view or the wrong way of trying to handle a situation. And an example would be like, for instance, right now, and I don't know how long, maybe in the last couple of years or so, Chiron has been transiting Aries, okay? So this, because of the nature of Chiron and because of the nature of Aries, that can be quite a clash in temperaments and even like goals, because because Chiron is a wounded healer and it is all about sensitivity, but healing those wounds. And when it goes into your sun sign, then the issue of who you want to be when you grow up can be quite painful if you haven't already dealt with it. Like if you've been trying to be something that you're not, for instance, then that can really come back in a big way, because Aries, of all the signs, especially, is very independent and tries to be true to themselves, authentic, and that kind of thing. So if you have been anything other than that for whatever reason, then the King of Swords is about really looking at that and not allowing yourself to go into self-pity or anything else that would cause you to shut down and just like, I don't want to deal with this. So, because the Hierophant can be about conformity. And in terms of professions, I often see it as the, what do you call it? Corporate type of jobs, where I think a fire sign like Aries might balk at some of the requirements, like, oh, you have to wear your hair a certain way, you have to do this, you have to like participate in these stupid pep talks or whatever they have. I've seen some of, I've seen them where they have to play games and all this stuff, and it's like, oh man, that just, it seems like so, to me, I just can't imagine it. Well, maybe some people enjoy that kind of thing, and maybe it builds morale, I don't know. But anyway, that might be something that is going through your mind. And same thing with getting married. You might feel like, am I selling out? If I'm getting married, is this something that I really want to do, or am I doing it because I'm turning 30 and everybody around me is getting married? That kind of thing. The higher message is the Emperor, and actually this card is connected to your sign. But I was remarking on a past video that this is another card that I associate with another sign other than Aries. I associate it with Capricorn, because this is the number 4. Yeah, and it's funny because number 4 in numerology is connected to Saturn, and Saturn is a ruler of Capricorn, but I wasn't even thinking in terms of that. I was just thinking about what the Emperor stands for, and it is connected to that number 4, which is about order, discipline, so getting your life in order, kind of being that the captain of your own ship, but cleaning up your life in some way in order to get there. And for Aries, this can be about maybe having scattered forces. When I say scattered forces, it's not so much Aries as a sign. Maybe the fire element tends to be very spontaneous, and then Aries likes to start something and then they might drop it when it's no longer a novelty, and start something new. You're very much the catalyst, but not necessarily the cleanup crew. So it's like almost like finish what you've started, something that you need to get in order in your life in order to move on and do whatever else that you need to do, because you did have a full moon in your sign last month in October. And actually, as I record this, it's still October, albeit the end of the month. And maybe you have seen a chapter closing, but you still have a couple of loose ends that you need to tend to. And the Emperor is about getting everything in order, all areas of your life. Also, well, I'll leave it there. This is the higher message. So really it is talking about things from a higher perspective, not just in your mundane reality and like, oh, you'll be so much more successful if you do this. It's more about, rather than just worldly success, it's about how can you do this to help yourself spiritually, because maybe there are some of you that really want to do something spiritual as a career. and that maybe that's what the Hierophant represents to you, that you have this desire to do it. But oh yeah, and the King of Swords could be, let's say you have extensive education. The swords can relate to the intellect, and you might be, but I have to make this pay off in some way. I can't just like abandon it and become a Reiki master. I'll be throwing away all this, formal education. And really, our time on this planet is limited. Even if it's 110 years, it's still limited. So keep that in mind with anything that you feel like you have to do to make it, to pay off in some way, because it may not do that for you. And also it just prolongs the agony instead of doing something that really makes your heart sing. What crosses you is the Magician, and the Magician is your card for sure. So like I was saying, the Emperor, it's funny that they have both the Emperor and the Magician as Aries. I just think that's funny, because I think that the Magician is definitely more Aries. For one, it's the number one card, and you're the first house in the zodiac. Let me look at this picture again, because this isn't a deck that I have used too often, but I'm going to start using it more because I just think it's beautiful, and the colors here. And so it's almost like a whirlpool or a vortex, which is kind of what they talk about in the law of attraction. So it's in the challenge position. So it's almost like Aries, for some reason, you have forgotten what your abilities are in this area to create your own reality. Maybe you have gone down that conventional path a little bit too much and have found yourself needlessly conforming to something, and it has made you a little bit lost in terms of your true purpose. So again, if this resonates with you, I'm happy to provide this message, because it really needs to be said. So much people are, trying to be something that they're not. It's a very like hard thing to resist sometimes, especially if you're around people who are like that. I was thinking about myself, and I did have a period where I really went down the path of the world after having been for a long time outside of that loop. And I was just thinking recently, like, why did I do that? And it was just because I was kind of like influenced by the people around me, which seems really strange. For fire sign, I'm a Sag. Aries, Sag, Leo, usually we're more independent in that sense. But I think that sometimes we feel like we want to fulfill a certain conventional goal, maybe. And I think there's room for that, because if we want to just kind of see what it would be like to be in that mainstream life, because when you do it, then you can see like, oh man, that's not for me, because I eventually found out that I just can't do that. Some people can. I was looking at people around me who were doing it, and they seem to be thriving, and that's, for them, that's their path. But it certainly isn't mine, and it might not be yours. And the Magician, that magic comes when you are a conscious co-creator with the universe, meaning that you are aware. You're not just kind of, most people are creating unconsciously, and that's where the problems start, because that's where, when we talk about karma, creating karma, it really just means that people are acting unconsciously. That's all it means. It doesn't mean, oh, they have bad luck or anything. Just that they're doing things thoughtlessly. They're not doing things with intention. And so they're not really doing the things that will bring them closer to true happiness, not this kind of like bliss state, that this beatific state that is like, when you go into a trance or something like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about peace of mind, more of a general feeling of well-being, because they know that they are doing what they came here to do, or at least they're on the right track. They may not feel like everything is perfect what they're doing, but at least they're on the right track. They're doing their dharma. And so if that resonates, I hope it can give you encouragement. What is coming in is the King of Pentacles, which is great for money for sure. Sometimes this can also be someone who holds the purse strings. So if it's not like an institution like a bank where you're getting some kind of a loan, it can be, the king can be a father or father figure who you are either borrowing money from, or this person wants to help you, even like a mentor or a boss, some kind of an investor, a boss, somebody who's maybe even like a friend. If you have a friend who's like a stockbroker or somebody who has like tons and tons of money, and they're going to be a silent partner in your business or what have you. Could be somebody like that. It's interesting because I never saw with the rest of the cards anything connected to owning your own business, but maybe that's something with the Emperor that you want to do, but before you do so, you have to get everything in order, including your money situation down. And then the outcome is the Strength card. It's funny, in this deck they show a woman with half of a lion's face. And so the Strength card, is a card connected to Leo. And Leo in particular, and it's interesting because she has a necklace with a heart. The fifth house is, your fifth house is Leo, and it's connected to romantic dalliances and creative pursuits, things of that nature. But with the Strength card, there's like, it's believing in yourself, I think, first and foremost. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about someone that I have witnessed online, and the person who seems very confident. And how when you believe in yourself, I would say especially when it comes to like creative pursuits, or if you are like somebody who feels that you were born to be a healer, something along those lines, that when you are coming at the world with true confidence, not cockiness, not aggression, because that can be the imbalanced expression of Aries. But if you're coming with a position of inner strength, there's like a knowingness that you have something worthy of offering others. And that will be your biggest draw. People will, it's like, build it and they will come. They will, because you will be offering something that nobody else can. And it can be irresistible because it is coming from an authentic place. So I think first and foremost, I would say with this reading, it really speaks to me about getting your house in order and really getting clear on what it is that you want to share with the world. You have two kings here. And so to me, it's almost like self-mastery. And I think the Magician is as well. But you may not have stepped into that because you might not be clear on those things completely. Or maybe you're working on believing in yourself. Okay, Aries, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you'd like a private reading, I do mostly astrology, natal chart interpretations. I do tarot readings privately as well. You can find out more about my offerings at the link below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.